Hello, and welcome to the Ink Spot, the show where we talk about books. I'm your host, Stanley G. Robertson. Today on the show, we are going to be discussing the book entitled Medical Apartheid. He was a gynecologist, so he was using these crude instruments, if you even can call them instruments, and I think you said it best. Probably the best way to describe them is blacksmith tools.
Yeah.
And he was using these instruments to operate on women who were, of course, black women.
Well, he's been heralded as a hero, and yes, he may have made a few medical breakthroughs, but for the torture that these women went through, for him to bring about these breakthroughs is just horrendous.
The whole book is about how medicine has advanced in America on the backs of torturing black people and experimenting on black people. And, you know, he's a hero, Dr. Sims. He has this huge statue in Central Park, you know, this huge, not a bust, a statue of him as this is the father of modern gynecology. But, you know, as you mentioned, they don't talk about his assistants holding down slaves with two hands as he just slices and dices through them.
And while he was holding them down,
no nothing.
Right.
True, no painkiller. Right. And while he was holding them down, she said that at one point the assistants, the pain was so unbearable in these women that the assistants had to actually run out of the room.
Yes.
You might tend to think of them as the Dr. Frankenstein stereotype. You think that's a valid analogy?
I mean, in that, you know, they're experimenting on people. I mean, a lot of other doctors that they mentioned in here, they would buy slaves. You know, like, you know, supposedly Frankenstein would, you know, give me this dead body so I can do my creation. These people would say, hey, let's put this advertisement up. I need 50 slaves. If you don't need them, they're sick, they're not working well, bring them to me. I'll take, you know, I'll take care of them.
Yeah.
But to take care of them is I'm going to experiment on them. If they get well, you as the slave owner, you win, because now you've got a well slave that can get back in the field. If not, you know, it's no loss to you anyway.
So we was nobody to them. We was subhuman. Like they said, we were supposed to have had holes in our knees to permit us to bend. We supposed to be subservient to them. We supposed to bow to them. And what about the incident about the young boy that fell out of the tree? He injured himself, and all he needed was a few stitches. But this doctor, searching for fame and fortune, what he did was he took the boy, he put him under anesthesia because that was new at the time. He put him under anesthesia, and he cut off his testicles. And then he wrote a paper on how you do an operation with someone under anesthesia.
But he was still trying to figure out the anesthesia with
he was
trying.
He was.
I think they were using ether or something at that time, right?
Right. But there was no reason to take off the boy's testicles.
I remember this was maybe, you know, 15 years ago. They were having, if you had, you know, keloid problem with your skin, you can go and get free treatment at Cook County Hospital. And I remember people saying, you know, free treatment at Cook County. I don't think so. You know, that just doesn't sound right. But it's, you know, it's because of that Tuskegee experiment, you know, type thing that we think of.
And that's one of the ploys, I suppose, or the tricks that they used was that you were going to get free treatment. There's one story that she told about this guy who had stole the black baby. And he took the black baby and he put the baby under his coat, and he was coming out really fast out of wherever he got the baby from. And he bumped into a woman and he fell.
This was a dead baby, right?
Yeah, and the baby, it was a body, right? And the baby falls to the ground. You know, he's all embarrassed because he's got this black baby that he's carrying. But the point is, he was stealing the baby's body. And what she said is that that's how they got their patients. They did get them from these almshouses, as you mentioned. But a lot of times they had these people, what did they call them? The resurrection man. And the resurrection man is a person who actually was basically a grave robber. And he'd go and steal these bodies. And as a matter of fact, I remember one story that she mentioned where remember the incident back in the 60s where the 4 little girls, the bombing in Birmingham, Alabama at the church, the 4 little girls who got killed. Years later, one of the little girls, I forget the little girl's name, but her sisters had went to the grave because there was problems with the cemetery. And they said, you know what, there's problems with the cemetery. We want to get her body out of here and put it somewhere that we feel good and feel comfortable with. They went to get the body, to exhume the body, and there was nothing there. And this was exactly what she's talking about, is the resurrection man and these grave robbers, they go and steal these bodies, so you really don't know whether your people are there or not. And what they do with the bodies is they deliver them for research.
Do you remember one of the things during the Obama election, and Reverend Wright, you know, they were pulling all these tapes, and they were like, Reverend Wright, you know, says that AIDS could have been concocted by the government to hurt black people. They're like, that's just ridiculous. It's a little bit ridiculous, but when you read this book,
yeah,
maybe, you know,
it's not so ridiculous.
It's not, so it's not outside of the realm of possibility.
We've only got 1 minute left to go on the show. Gavin, what do you think about Medical Apartheid? Do you give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
Thumbs up, best book we've ever read.
Benita?
Thumbs up, definitely.
Tony?
Thumbs up.
All right, I give Medical Apartheid a thumbs up. I think it was an excellent book. I mean, the research was impeccable. The writing was even more so.